So Ohio State loses 14 players to the NFL draft, ties the school record. Think about how many great years they've had, Urban Meyer's years and beyond. And it was the most by any school in the country last year. 14 players drafted. They haven't had double-digit draft picks since 2021. And then they went on to go 11-2 with a young, talented quarterback. Talking about Julian Sayin this year, CJ Stroud that year, and won the Rose Bowl that year before kind of even becoming a little bit better the following year. 6 of those 14 were in the first 2 rounds, including 4 in round 1. 8 of those guys, Muench, 8 on the defensive side of the ball. All right? Gutted. And by the way, their last player drafted, this seems to be a trend. It's like the third team now. We've said the last player drafted was their quarterback. He was in the sixth round to the Steelers. Okay. Will Howard. So what do we have this year? We have, not surprisingly, and this is why when I said it's like a whole lot of educated, and this is the educated part, but also blind faith in the program and Ryan Day and what he's built as a program. Ohio State's got 5 in our top 75. That's tied for the second most behind, we talked about Alabama. What's interesting though is they only have 6 in the top 300 for the Senior Bowl, right? Which is tied for the 4th fewest of the 12 teams that I've highlighted here in my preseason rankings. And I'll give you those names: Carnell Tate at wide receiver, Max Clare at tight end, Ethan Anianwa along the offensive line, Sonny Styles, who we both love at linebacker, is your guy, Davison Igbinosun at cornerback, and Caleb Downs at safety. But it just so happens that Downs might be the best defensive player in the country, and Jeremiah Smith might be the best player in the country, and he's not eligible. So again, a lot of blind trust here. Take it where you want, Muench, but I'm really interested on the offensive side of the ball, what you expect to see. I'll get to saying and what I'm seeing, but I'm curious, like when you're looking at Ohio State, and we get that week 1 matchup against Texas, but throughout the entire season, what jumps out to you is like burning question? What do you have to have answered about this team outside of the quarterback spot?
It's got to be the offensive line. And I say this, and I want to be careful because I had so many questions about the offensive line last year when Josh Simmons went down and then Seth McLaughlin went down. I mean, every time something happened, I thought this offensive line was cooked. And honestly, when I watched their tape, I mean, the sum was definitely better than the total of the parts. But they got it done. That offensive line found a way to get it done. So I hesitate to go there again. And yet, here I am. I'm worried about that offensive line. I want to see how it all comes together. I'm not convinced yet that offensive line is going to be good enough for their young quarterback. And, you know, you talk about the Rice transfer there seemed to be a lot of buzz. Now I'm reading that he might not even start, that he's the guy who might not even start for them because they have questions about, you know, this or that. There's, you know, they're not really, I'm not being filled with confidence about the reporting on their offensive line right now. That's the number one thing that jumps out to me. And that's something because their quarterback is a super talented kid, but he's a freshman. So Julian Sayin, we'll see. Again, I can't wait to watch him play. We'll see what happens there. But you got a new play caller, you got a freshman quarterback, and I got questions along the offensive line. Their pass catchers, we go positive, are going to be like they have the best pass catchers on the planet. I mean, Max Clare, the tight end from Purdue, I can't talk enough about. I think he's going to be elite for them. And then you have Carnell Tate and you have Jeremiah Smith, and you know it's ridiculous the abundance of talent they have at the skill position. So that's going to be great. But it's going to be the same thing as last year. Is that offensive line going to be good enough? Last year it was. They figured out a way to get it done, and maybe they will again this year. But man, I mean, I don't know. I've got questions.
Yeah, here's the deal, man. Julian Sayin is like an all-world talent. He's supremely talented.
Can I say something, by the way? Can I just interject this really quickly?
Yes.
We could get Bryce Underwood, who was the number one overall prospect in the ESPN 300 this year and the starting quarterback for Michigan, announced this week, and Julian Sayin, who was the number 9 overall player in the ESPN 300. We could get 4 Michigan, Ohio State games with those guys at quarterback. And if it like,
no, you couldn't. 3.
You're probably right. You could get 4. I'm just saying it could happen. So you're saying there's a chance, Mitch.
Yeah, then they won't be that. They won't be that great if that's how it shakes out.
I know.
They'll be overrated. But 3
like
three would be wonderful head to head. Yes.
I feel like a guy like ruins Christmas. Dude.